What's up, everyone? Welcome to the most positive pop culture podcast, the Multiverse Metalcore Nerds, the podcast that features members of your favorite bands as we explore their love of pop culture. I'm your host, Sean Ma, and this week I'm joined by Mikey of the Gloom in the Corner. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you. It's lovely to be back.
So happy to have you back. We were talking a little bit before we hit record, but 3 years. It said 3 years since we've done this. That's crazy.
Yes, that is a long time. And as I was saying, it doesn't feel like 3 years.
No, not at all. But it's nice because we've kept in touch since then. We talk on the internet, and that's nice. I like when that happens in this show. It's a good feeling, and it's been cool to see the band evolve and grow. That's been really cool. I like to see that happen. I like to see my friends succeed.
Thank you.
The recognition is deserved, and I think it's only going to grow. Before we get into Mikey and what he's into, what he's watching, and everything like that, for the returning show or first time listeners, thank you so much for tuning in. Best way to support the show if you're watching on YouTube, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, comment, let us know what you think of the new Gloom in the Corner record. Let us know where you're watching, what you're listening to, what you're reading. Just leave a comment. If you're listening to your favorite podcasting platform, subscribe there as well. Leave us a 5-star review. Helps more people find the show. It helps the podcast continue to grow. If you are a daily fix Metalcore Nerds, you can find us on all social media at Metalcore Nerds. Royal Discordness that is out right now. I do want to ask you the Gloom in the Corner question. It is kind of pop culture leaning, though. All right.
Of course.
Obviously, there's this massive lore and story behind the band, and there has been since the jump. If you had to name 4 pieces of pop culture that inspired the concept of the lore of the Gloom in the Corner, it could be video games, TV, movies, books, comics, whatever, anything in that nature. Could you name 4 things?
I could probably definitely name 4 at least for this record and Trinity and like this kind of arc, I guess. Like it's kind of changed and evolved over the course of us being around for so goddamn long. But this one, it was like a lot of like 80s action movies. So stuff like John Woo's work and like Die Hard and all that kind of stuff. Anything gun fu related, really. I think I said this last time, like D&D campaigns and all that kind of stuff. Like I said, we kind of treated Trinity like a bastardized D&D campaign. For Trinity, at least, like Doom, for sure. And I guess probably in that same vein, if I'm going to pick another video game, it's probably either something like Max Payne, which again comes off like that John Woo thing. I mean, like it's definitely Max Payne. There's literally Max Payne references throughout the entire record. And then, but also like a lot of niche horror games like Signalis, but also stuff like Silent Hill. I was literally playing through 3 when I was in the studio recording this record.
Wow.
So, and I just finished the original 2 for the first time right before I went into the studio for this one too. So I feel like some of that stuff kind of played off into the record a little bit in some sections and all that kind of stuff. So we'll use those 4 or 5, whichever one it was.
The one iconography for, what was it? Nope. Very John Wick. Like that's obviously a John Wick. Right?
Yeah.
Just with you in the center.
Yeah, just with me in the center. Yeah.
But it's awesome. Like it looks great. And it's like a great like restylization of that. You know what I mean? Things I kind of would expect but wouldn't expect at the same time.
Yeah, we have to change it up a little bit with the record being a little bit more cheeky, I guess, like compared to Trinity emotionally and whatnot, especially with songs like Nope and etc. We took a lot more influence from like that kind of campy side of the 80s action movies and whatnot, especially for that character of Jay. I was like, we're just gonna fully hone into the Max Payne thing, I reckon. Because it's so funny.
Last time we talked, we did talk about what got you into horror movies, but we didn't talk what got you into pop culture in general. So do you know what got you into like TV, movies, and video games when you were younger at all?
It was very much, I think, looking back on it, it was very much video games, you know, and like a bit of music as well, I think, but mainly video games. And I think really like the first proper 2 or 3 would have been like the original 1993 Doom, because we borrowed a friend's PlayStation 1 for a long time. And then it was Tomb Raider, The Last Revelation, the original one. I literally had, of course, and Halo. I went over to a friend's place and played Halo on the Xbox and begged my parents for an Xbox for my birthday like the next year. And I got it with Halo Combat Evolved. I literally have the Chief tattooed on my foot. So it'd be remiss to say that Halo wasn't a big influence.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited because Halo, I've played like Halo at friends' house, but I've never like played Halo, if that makes sense. It's coming out for PlayStation this year.
I was about to say,
I'm excited to play it. like to actually like play the campaign and stuff for like the first time in my life. I think I played like I had an Xbox a while ago, and I think I played like 4 or something. Maybe it was 4. I didn't finish it, so
Fair.
that's saying
I don't
anything.
blame you. I don't blame you, to be honest. As a long-time Halo fan, as a long-time toxic Halo fan. No, I'm interested to see how they go about that campaign re-evolved, because I mean, it's cool that they're bringing it to PlayStation, but it also tells me that Microsoft is finally selling out their flagship. Even though like I know you're a PlayStation guy, but as you're aware, like Halo just fucking dominated
Oh yeah.
the video game space for between the early 2000s to, you know, early 2010s. It's one of the most iconic pieces of like video game pop culture in history now, next to
Easily.
Lara Croft and next to, I guess you could arguably say, Doom as well. But they've always kept it very close to their chest. And like, yeah, they've done PC ports and stuff like that, but they've always been pretty much exclusively an Xbox thing. However, going back to the campaign evolved thing, I know that like they did a remaster of that original campaign as well back in 2012, 2013, I think. And it was pretty much just like a straight reskin, report kind of thing. Like it wasn't an actual mechanical overhaul like what they've done with the Resident Evil series and Silent Hill and all those other remakes that have come out recently. It's very much divided the fan base, myself included, because I'm like, do you really need to entirely remake this campaign? More or less just for the sake of putting it on PlayStation and giving it like some mechanical overhaul, kind of like what gave Halo or the original Halo its charm was because of how it was graphically and etc. limited in what it could do. So like giving it a whole fresh perspective with like completely new mechanics and everything, is it really going to be the same experience of what they're expecting people to experience? That's my take on it, at least. I think it would have been smarter to at least like port the Master Chief Collection, which is 1, 2, 3, Reach. Oh, actually, no, I think it's all Halo games now. I think they've got all of them under the thing to PlayStation, because that still has like a pretty big fan base and player base from memory. So if they just cross-played it, like why would you just not do that?
My weird thought, and not even being like super into like video game knowledge and stuff like that, but just being into like pop culture and how money works in that kind of stuff, is I think they finally realized they don't have the same, like Xbox exclusives do not hold the same weight as PlayStation exclusives anymore. You know, PlayStation exclusives fucking blow them out of the water, like just straight up. Like you can't. There's no competition. And
but when's the last time you got a new game?
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, I don't even know what you would call a Xbox exclusive anymore. Like I have no idea. Like I really couldn't name one other than if they came out with a new Halo or something. But yeah, I think they're hurting super hard in that department, and they needed to go to Sony. And I bet Sony was like, we want it to be our own thing. We know we have you, and this is awesome for us because we know it's gonna crush. Even like the dumb Last of Us, like they remastered The Last of Us Part 2, and that game's 5 years old. Like, that's insane. At least the Part 1 made sense. They're like, oh yeah, let's make the graphics as good as Part 2. Sure, yeah, fine, that makes sense. Like they've remastered that game like 20 times. Like that one makes sense. But the Part 2 one, I was like, that movie, that game just came out. What are you talking about? It's perfect. What do you want to do to it? It doesn't make any sense. I think they probably knew they had a leg up, and they're just like, yeah, we want it be our own thing. That's the only thing I can think of, and that could be totally wrong. I don't know. That's
I think you're probably right. Like we don't really have many Xbox exclusives anymore. Or if we do, like they're kind of for a limited time, and it's generally like an already established IP that's like already had stuff before, so it's not really exclusive. That's cool, bro, I guess. But I was gonna say, like in the same vein, somebody pointed out, like when was the last time that Sony also put out like a proper independent IP by itself, kind of like Halo or like God of War, for example, or etc. I don't know. There's been like a bit of back and forth with it. I mean, I'm not looking at from the exclusivity side. I realized that Xbox sold out a long time ago, and that's why I switched to PC.
Fair,
because it's gonna get there anyway. But yeah, like we even lost fucking Gears of War to PlayStation. I'm like, really? I'm like, really? We couldn't keep one? I understand Halo because it's such a big game, and I'm like, we couldn't keep Gears of War, really?
And obviously, Spider-Man was a big
I forgot about Spider-Man too. Yeah.
And that now Wolverine, which is it's the same gaming company, but like Ghost of Tsushima was pretty big.
PlayStation as well.
I think.
Yeah, true.
I mean, they eventually going on to PC, does that mean is it still a PlayStation exclusive? It goes to PC. I don't understand.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I don't know. Is it? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it does because Xbox used to do the same thing back in the day.
It's exclusive to a platform, like a platformer, I guess. Even though technically there's going to be a PC platform with the new Steam thing that they got going on.
Yeah. Hey, look, if it makes everybody feel any better, we're gonna get GTA 6 in whenever the fuck that decides to come out. And then we'll see. And that's gonna be exclusively on Xbox and PlayStation and probably the Switch before we get it on PC. So it took them like 3 years to get GTA 5 on PC. I don't know why. I don't know how, but it just took them an abysmally long time. We just got Red Dead for like the first Red Dead finally on PC, and that game came out like 15 years ago.
That's crazy.
What's happening here? Rockstar, what are you doing?
I think, well, I know every time a big game ends up going on PC, all my friends who play PC, they're like, wait months after the fact because it's always awful. Like there's always these bugs and they need to fix it, and it's never like putting a disc in to a PlayStation or an Xbox and it's like good to go. Besides like Cyberpunk, we won't talk about Cyberpunk. Obviously that one.
We already have. I was gonna say I re-listened to our episode the other day just to kind of catch up to see how much things have changed. And the one that stuck out the most was we were talking about Blade, and it was the first time that they had just axed the director or like axed the writer or something like that. And we were like, oh no, I'm sure they're like just taking the time with it, making sure they get it right. How wrong we were.
I still think they are, which is weird of me to say.
The report's going around that it's dead.
I think it might be quote unquote dead, but I think they're just waiting. And
for what?
I think you're not gonna put a Blade movie in between an Avengers movie.
Yeah, it's true, I guess.
Don't do that. I don't think it's at this point. I don't think it's being Mahershala Ali. Because I think
he's left.
He'll be
he left a couple of months ago. I saw a report. They were looking at they were looking at I could be speaking out of pocket here, but I want to say they're looking at the dude from Gangs of London, SAP Desiree, I think.
He is in Slow Horses as well.
He's already got like all the stunt stuff down from Gangs of London, so like I'm sure it'll be fine. But that's if the project ever gets off the ground, which I'm severely doubting now.
The only reason I think they're making sure it gets made correctly is what happened with Daredevil, because they literally shot Daredevil and were like, this is wrong. And they got new showrunner, new everything, and they revamped. And season 1 wasn't even like really like the fact that season 1 was good in general is a miracle, because they literally made a Frankenstein season of TV. And that's why I'm so stoked for season 2, because it's all the directors are which you can definitely see the stylistic difference between episode 1 and episode 8, because those are new directors, different directors. So I'm excited to see like what this team has with their own collective thing. And the new rumor with that, I wasn't expected to talk about this, but that's fine. The new rumor with that is that between Daredevil season 2 and Spider-Man Brand New Day, because obviously Punisher's going to be in that, and he's getting his own special this summer as well.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
Into Daredevil season 3 is that it's going to lead into a like Spider-Man Daredevil team up, and that will culminate like the Kingpin stuff, which would be sick.
That would be sick. It'd be good to finally get some of that, because really, like Spider-Man, besides like obviously besides the comics and some of the video games, maybe some of the animated TV shows, they haven't really done Kingpin and Spider-Man, have they?
No.
It's mainly been a Daredevil thing, hasn't it? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, as far as like live action stuff, for sure. I don't think they've ever faced off, other than obviously like Into the Spider-Verse. Kingpin was the main villain of the first one.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. I was like,
but as far as live action, no, not at all. It's always been a Daredevil thing, even in the movies, the old, those movies.
That one movie. That one movie with Ben.
Yeah. Well, Elektra, it's whatever. That happened.
That happened.
It's hard to say, because I know like Marvel's had its setbacks in the last few years and blah 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 blah. But like what they've been putting out lately, I think has been very, very good for the most part, or at least good. Like I thought Thunderbolts was great.
At least from the TV. Oh yeah, Thunderbolts is good. Yeah.
Wonder Man was awesome. Wonder Man.
I haven't watched
It's the most like un-MCU thing, which
That's what I've been
so
told.
many
Yeah.
people have been asking about it. Like, should I watch this? And I'm like, yeah. And I didn't like love it. I just thought it was very good. And for an MCU show that's not Loki or WandaVision, it's the most
Mhm.
consistent besides those two. Those two are great. And they live on
Yeah.
an island by themselves with the other ones where it's kind of like they have really great moments and they also have really bad moments. This one is just a great show. And it's like a character study. And I'm calling this now 2026 is the year of the bromance. There's so many bromances. The Bone Temple had Samson and Kelson, Rocky and Grace. That's coming up in Project Hail Mary. That's going to be a good bromance. It's just a good year for bromances. Oh, Duncan and Egg, and then the Seven Kingdoms. It's the year of the bromance.
It's the year of the bromance for sure. You left out the biggest one, which is Heated Rivalry.
Good point. Technically, it came out last year though, but that's fine. The hype lived on. I saw a report that it's still killing the streaming charts now still. And it's like, dude, Heated Rivalry Night is a new thing. Like, obviously, everything becomes commodified and becomes a rave nowadays. And Heated Rivalry Nights are selling out everywhere. It's fucking crazy. I don't even know. Like, I tried to read the description. I'm like, what exactly is that?
I was trying to say, like, what's going on there?
I guess they
like,
play
what's
clips
at this club
behind them, and I don't know. I don't know what like the music is going to be for that. But I also haven't watched the show, so I don't know if there's like music in the show that would translate. But it's only a 6-episode season. I have no idea what it entails, but good for them. What have you been watching recently? What have you been into?
What have I been watching? Been trying to catch up on my movies and my pop culture as much as I could. I just finished Paradise the other day.
Ooh, just in time for
I know
season
that
2.
you've been, I know, just in time for season 2. I know that like you've been posting about it, and a couple of your other mates here on the podcast have been posting about it as one of the top 10 shows of last year. Yeah, I was blown away by it. I actually didn't know about that twist at the start.
Good.
Yeah, I didn't know about that. And I was like, oh, this is more than just, oh, the president has been assassinated kind of thing.
Oh, yeah. Way
That's
more.
cool. That's cool. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed that. I can't wait for season 2. Keeping up with Fallout as well.
Are you a Fallout game player?
Yeah. I've literally just started New Vegas again, like a week ago. I've tried playing New Vegas vanilla several times over the course of me playing the Fallout games. I started out with 4 on the Xbox, again, vanilla. And I had good fun with that. So I went back and I played 3 on my old school laptop and got through all of that. Got through most of all of the DLCs until I got to that alien one, and then my game crashed and permanently broke it.
Oh,
typical Fallout fashion. I'm surprised it wasn't an error message halfway through one of the episodes, to be honest. It would have been really canon. And then I started New Vegas around that time again, and same thing. Like I think like mechanically, I was just like kind of over it. Like I burnt myself out really quickly. A few years ago on tour, I started New Vegas again, put like a whole heap of mods into it to like make it work, but again, kind of ran out of time. And then this time again, I'm like, okay, I have like a bit of time off between touring and in between PR stuff. If I need downtime, I'll start playing it properly, because I should probably play through it properly. I know most of what happens in the story and everything just from being on the internet. So I'm not like, I don't feel like I'm getting anything spoiled or anything like that, to be fair, because it's more about the experience and the story in New Vegas. But yeah, so yeah, I'm a Fallout player, and I thoroughly enjoyed the show, to be fair. I get that some people got angsty around a couple of things, but like, it's Fallout, dude. Who gives a shit? Like they change everything like every 20 minutes anyway. Who gives a shit? I've been keeping up to date with the Pitt as well.
The best.
The best. I love my suicidal ideation Dr. Robbie. That dude's a fucking menace.
I would die.
Oh yeah, he died for himself, to be honest.
Easily, yes.
Easily. But it's funny, like as soon as you kind of get into some of these fandoms and whatnot, Twitter will pick up on it. And so suddenly my For You page is just like absolutely blown through with unhinged fandom stuff, specifically for the Pit and for Fallout. There are some great memes on Twitter still, surprisingly. Movie-wise, I've been a little bit slack, but I've tried to keep on top of most things, and I try to log it as best as I can on Letterboxd.
There's a TV one called Serialized, but Letterboxd has said that in this year they will fully have TV integrated, which they weirdly have limited series in there or something, but I think if it's more than one season, they don't include it. I don't know what is the criteria for Letterboxd for that stuff, but I've downloaded the Serialized app. I've just never used it. because I think you can like rate each episode, and I'm like, I don't give a fuck about that.
Oh yeah, no, I have seen that one. Yeah.
I just want to keep track of the shows I watch because
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw, but I watched like almost 70 series from last year. Gross amount of TV. I don't think I'm going to beat it this year. I was also kind of getting paid to like write about TV
yeah, that makes sense.
too. So like that amplified me to want to watch more. I'm in a scrubs hole with TV. And other than things that I'm watching that are coming out, like The Pitt, Industry, Night of the Seven Kingdoms, and I guess Jujutsu Kaisen too. Those are like the shows. The shows are coming out weekly. Is that? But like anything else that's not those when they come out the day they come out, I'm watching Scrubs. I think mostly because I want to. I've only seen like episodes in my life. I've never like watched Scrubs.
Watched it. Yeah, I'm so over people trying to reboot like old TV series like that. Like it just doesn't need to happen. Like Scrubs is its own thing. Like if they try bringing back Prison Break now, it's like why?
Oh God,
you had a good run.
Oof. Did they have a good run? I think they had a good run season 1.
They had it. Oh no. Me and my partner watched it like a couple years ago.
Well,
the first like
I think I need to rewatch it. Like first few seasons.
4.
When they break out of the prison, that's when it gets kind of
yeah. And then they have to break into another prison and break out of another prison. And you're like, oh my God, dude, what are you doing? Me and my partner work pretty late hours just because of the jobs that we have. She's a hairstylist, sorry. I work pretty much late at this retail job. So our thing is like coming home and just chucking on an episode of something on TV. And our thing that we've been rewatching, which no streaming platform besides I think maybe Apple has, is a TV show called Las Vegas from like 2005.
Whoa.
And it's about like a casino. James Caan, Josh Duhamel, and a whole heap of other people who I don't think have really gone on to do much stuff afterwards. But those are like the main two. Tom Selleck's in like this season. But like they're consistent. It's pretty much about like a casino and the security team that like run the casino and all this kind of shit that they get into. But it was originally written and produced by the dude that started the Fast and the Furious series.
Oh, wow.
There is a whole heap of stuff that happens over these seasons, which are just complete batshit. Where like, much like the Fast and the Furious series, as it gets further and further into every season, more and more batshit stuff starts happening. Awesome. And you can very much tell like that's the same writer and charm. What's even more interesting is that like every few episodes, there is like a cameo, whether it be like a very big cameo or like a musical act cameo or something like that, or even just like people who are very small then but are much more popular now, pretty much come through this show. At least like one episode. There are some crazy cameos in this show. They have like Snoop Dogg come through in an episode. I'm pretty sure they have like Paris Hilton. Like they have like all these like big name celebrities especially for the time were just in abundance in this show. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like half the time. Anyway, we've also been watching Shrinking.
I've seen all of season 3. I mean, every season of Shrinking is highly emotional. They just ramp up the emotion every season. But this season is, and me watching it, I watched it before they got the season 4 renewal, and Bill Lawrence, like his big talk was like, they planned to do 3 seasons originally. But I think he learned with Ted Lasso as where they planned to do 3 seasons originally, and then obviously are coming back with season 4 this year. That he, like in season 4 or season 2 press, he was like, I think I'm starting to have ideas outside this season, but like Jimmy's arc is going to be these 3 seasons, which definitely does that. Like as you'll see the season start to wrap up, you're like, this feels like it could be the end of the show.
I mean, same thing with Ted Lasso, though, to be fair.
Yes, 100%. It feels very much like that. Like the end, like season 3 Ted Lasso. A lot of his stuff. Not to say that the book is closed, but in like a realm of whatever, you definitely could have ended it there and it probably would have been fine. Everyone kind of had their like journeys, I guess, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like I like, damn, like I said, like it's left as like an open, as you said, left as like an open book kind of thing. But I feel like it very much wrapped everything up. I was still like, damn, it sucks that we're like not getting another season of this. And then it was like the next day that we finished season 2. They're like, oh, we're getting season 4. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Never mind.
Yeah,
I'm not sad anymore.
I'm so happy because I think this is Bill Lawrence's best show. I think Shrinking, yeah, the best blend of his comedy and his like human emotional stuff. Like it's just the perfect, like kind of all of his stuff kind of has that, you know what I mean? But I think this is like the best combination of it for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Like I love Ted Lasso, and Ted Lasso is kind of
Same.
like a feel good show, I guess, that we can kind of just put on whenever if we really get bored.
For sure.
But I think like yeah, Shrinking hits home like a lot more and a
Yeah.
lot better too.
Yeah, 100%. And it's crazy because that's coming out now. He's obviously Scrubs is his thing. He's the
Oh,
Scrubs
Scrubs is
reboot's
his
coming
thing.
out.
Okay, right. Okay,
Yeah. Which this is crazy when I list this out. He has a new HBO show starring Steve Carell called Rooster coming
I
out
saw
in
the trailer for
March.
that. Yeah.
And then Ted Lasso season 4. All in 1 year. Almost all besides Shrinking and Ted Lasso, all with different studios on different streaming platforms. It's
That's
actually crazy. Like I was like, this dude does not sleep. Like he must not sleep. How does he make all this stuff? It's like actually absurd. But it kind of goes back to your point where you're saying like I hate all these reboots and stuff. And it's like, why is Scrubs getting rebooted? Is it because the last season was bad? I'm truly wondering, like, did he have an idea and he's like, I just want to do it, and probably everyone involved was like, yes, of course we'll do this.
yeah,
I have no idea.
For Ted Lasso, yeah, and Shrinking, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, I don't know. The Scrubs one, I was just like, I mean, like they've tried rebooting The Office, like they did an Australian The Office
Oh,
down
right.
here, and
Weird.
that's already been cancelled. They tried doing another
Ooh.
reboot of The Office. It's either come out or
Yeah, it came
is
out.
coming out. It came out. Has that also
Yeah, it's
been
called,
axed? I'm pretty sure it has
no,
been axed.
I thought it was going to get axed because Peacock does this thing where they just binge drop like Netflix,
Yeah.
and they don't always do that, but I think that's their new thing. And when people saw, oh, they're dropping it once, they're like, ooh. But the show's pretty good, and it's
Yeah.
more, it's not like a traditional reboot. It just has Oscar in it, and it's in the same world, but it's a completely
Yeah.
different thing. And that one does a very good job of like, it feels like The Office and how it's shot, and how just the general tone is, but it doesn't feel like a carbon copy, which I think is,
Okay.
if you're going to do those things, that's obviously what you should do. But it did get renewed for season 2, so it's that one's happening. I don't know, it's hard because Peacock is like probably like the lowest in the totem pole of streaming services, as far as original content and people just having it. I think that's just a fair thing to say.
I mean, shit, I didn't watch it. I saw the trailers for it. I'm like, oh. But I wonder if Peacock, like, because they have so much kind of writing on that show with, I don't want to say the IP of it because it is different from The Office. But I wonder if like they're like, hey, maybe when they signed on to do this show, they're like, we have to have a minimum of 2 seasons before you give us the option to axe it. That's the only, because I haven't seen anybody talking about it. So maybe they just have like a minimum thing of like, nah, you've got like 2 seasons. We have to have 2 seasons before you give us like a proper thing. Because I guess like that's kind of what's happened with a lot of Netflix shows and everything too, is that they give it like a 1 season run and then it gets axed because they have a habit of flinging shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. And then which is why I'm kind of glad that they've gone to like a lot of limited series now, because I feel like it kind of works better. Oh, case in point, I watched His and Hers as well.
So good.
I was waiting for John Bernthal to drop the "Let me tell you something." I think there was like one time throughout the entire series where he kind of semi drops it, and I'm like, "Come on, John, say the line, say the line."
It was my friend asked me, he's like, from 1 to John Bernthal, how John Bernthal is it? And I was like,
5.
In the beginning, I thought he was going to go full John Bernthal,
full Bernthal.
But you realize he doesn't go full Bernthal, which is fine. I think they played that with us. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, this dude's doing fucked up shit. He's gonna fucking lose it. He is gonna lose it, and he doesn't. And I think that's better for it, to be honest.
Yeah, 100%. I was actually really impressed by his performance in that show.
You did bring up cheesy 90s action movies. I did watch The Wrecking Crew on Prime, and that it feels more like a 2000s action movie. But it has Jason Momoa and Dave Bautista. They kind of play estranged brothers, and their dad dies, and they see it's like weirdly gang related, and it all takes place in Hawaii. So they kind of try to figure out like why this happened, kind of thing. Yes, did I guess the twist of who the actual villain was 20 minutes into the movie? Yes, is the plot not that great, but god damn, the action is fucking sick. It is hyper violent, and there's a fight scene in the beginning with Jason Momoa that I was like, I did not know. Like, obviously, Jason Momoa is like good at action and he's good at being Jason Momoa. But I was like, damn, like he is fucking bringing it choreography wise. It is like the action in that movie is wild. So it's a good watch. Just even for that, like just for being like a solid action movie with brutal, and I mean brutal action. Like he cheese grates someone's arm in like the first 10 minutes. You know, there's a certain kill near the end that I literally was like, oh, whoa,
oh fuck,
whoa. And there's a the Yakuza are involved in it, and there's one character that he is straight up an anime character in real life. It's awesome. It's so
sick.
It's so fucking dope. That movie's a good one. If you have not watched The Wrecking Crew, and I think they're doing a sequel. So I'll watch another one of those any day.
That and The Rip have been on my watch list.
The Rip is a solid crime thriller. It's crazy because like you said with Netflix, they throw so much shit at the wall, and a lot of it is genuinely shit. But they've been putting out some good stuff, especially limited series. You said limited series, like almost all of their limited series are fucking killer, especially if they're like a crime thriller kind of thing. They're good. Like very, very good. And The Rip's solid. I wouldn't say it's like amazing, but it's a good movie. It's that one. I kind of guessed who's going to be the bad guy, like 15 minutes in. But
that's because we watch an abundance of pop culture.
Yes, yeah. It's you kind of see the writing on the wall sometimes.
Yeah, and it's like, oh damn, I wish I was a little bit more naive sometimes.
Sometimes I'm pretty good at it. But other times I'm not. My wife is the best. She figures everything out. Like she's like, oh yeah, I called that, and I'm like, what do you mean? We did go see the new Dracula movie,
and
okay, so I'm just gonna say Dracula has gargoyles that are alive that are his minions, little CGI gargoyles that are his minions in this movie. Okay. And also how he gets people to be like enamored and attracted to him. Perfume. I will say the opening scene happened, and it's, his name's Vladimir. He's a king. He puts on a fucking full suit of armor, goes and fights this battle. I'm like, okay, where are we going with this? And the whole thing is like,
it's very much like the
Bram Stoker's.
Yeah, Bram Stoker's. Yeah.
And the whole thing with like, I don't want the love of my life to die. She dies.
Tough shit.
She dies, and like the whole movie is about him trying to find the reincarnated version of her. Which the premise of that, I was like, that's a pretty cool premise. I'm okay. I like that, but it's just the execution of everything else. Christoph Waltz plays Van Helsing. I love Christoph Waltz. He's a great actor. But in this movie, he plays a combination of Diet Willem Dafoe and Diet Benoit Blanc from the Knives Out series. And that's a bummer. And I don't know what it is about these remakes of gothic vampire movies, but they all feel so fucking goofy to me. None of them feel dark. None of them feel dreadful. There may be parts of it that do, but overall they feel so fucking goofy, dude. And there's like a scene where someone gets their head cut off and it squirts out blood, but then every other action scene, I swear there is zero blood. And that makes no sense to me either. Like, you're just like, there's a scene where they show that vampires are, they hit sunlight, they burn. And then that same vampire, like 30 minutes later, is outside. And the only thing she does is he puts
sunscreen on, or she puts sunscreen on.
Sure.
Obviously.
Sure.
So we were talking about books just before we got started.
Yes.
And you were saying how like you've gotten back into reading or adult reading, however you and your wife put it. Sorry. I was about to say, me and my partner have kind of done the same thing. And much like one of your other guests that we talked about, I've unfortunately gone down the other side and gone back into classic literature as well. Just because there's a whole heap of like classics and whatnot that I wanted to read, but never really kind of got the opportunity to, or knew at the time that I probably wouldn't be able to properly understand. And to be fair, most of the time now I still don't. However, one of those was Dracula.
Oh,
was the original original Stoker's Dracula, and I'm going to assume that you haven't read it, and I'm going to assume that anybody listening probably hasn't read it either. But the way that the original Dracula book as itself was laid out and everything was, it's all in diary entries.
I knew that.
Okay, so you knew that. Okay, cool. You have to kind of piece the story together yourself until at least kind of like the very end. And to be fair, I've only gotten about like halfway through it, and then I picked up something else because I have that ADHD tendency. It's also a very, very difficult read.
I can imagine
for the most part. But it's funny that like, so like I said, like halfway through reading that, I was like, okay, like I've gotten most of the story. Like I got up to, if we're comparing it to Nosferatu, which was what Dracula was based off. Sorry, Nosferatu was based off Dracula. Before Homie got copyright infringed back in the 30s and changed the names for everything. I got up to the point after the Voyage of the Last Demeter, which itself actually got its own movie, which I actually thought fucking ripped. I thought that film was ripped.
Awesome. I haven't watched it.
It's just like it's a little bit slow paced for sure. And it dips and flows, but for the most part, like after reading like Stoker's novel, I was like, that's actually a lot closer than any other adaptation that we've gotten. In a lot of the movies and adaptations, they kind of just skip over the Demeter. And to be fair, like it's because like in the original, like not a lot like not as much happens as what happens in the film, but like it's still like a good segment. Like he pretty much just goes through and fucking axes the whole crew for funsies. Because he's, as said, that. Yeah, so about like when he gets to England or whatever is where I got up to. And so I kind of knew the rest of the story from there. And so I decided to sit down with my partner and watch Bram Stoker's Dracula. I would like to heavily emphasize that I'd say that film is very much more influenced by Bram Stoker's Dracula than actually based off of Dracula. They do a lot of things right, like how he looks and stuff like that when you first see Gary Oldman when Homie comes to the castle. However, like that whole battle thing beforehand and like the armor and like the minion thing, that's its own thing. And like finding like finding a reincarnation of like the love of his life is kind of it's something like it in the books, but it's not actually like a reincarnation of his wife. It's something else. I can't remember what it is. I could also be wrong. Let us know in the comments below. But like that whole, from memory at least, like that whole battle thing which appears in Bram Stoker's Dracula is not in the books. It's kind of like alluded to that he was like a bit of a warlord, or the family that he comes from is from like a warlordy kind of background, and he's from like a generation of battle people. But like for the most part, that's entirely like its own thing.
Right.
So it's interesting that this remake has also taken that and remade it, because it's not really part of the original novel.
Yeah, I think it's more of like a remake of the movie than the book. Like that's what it's like, to be honest, which makes no sense at all. Also a layered thing, because it's so funny, because my wife Sam was like, "Oh, there's a Dracula movie coming out." And I was like, "What? A Dracula movie coming out?" And she's like, "How do you not know about this?" And I was like, "I've heard nothing about this." And I finally realized why I've heard nothing about this, because the director is Luc Besson, who directed The Fifth Element and Leon the Professional. And if you don't know anything about him, about 7 years ago, he got a ton of sexual allegations, and you can look up to his marriage with Mila Jovovich after The Fifth Element, because it's pretty much the plot of Leon the Professional. Not good stuff. And I was like, oh, that's why I haven't heard about this, because everyone fucking hates this guy.
He's been like semi-blacklisted. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Which is crazy, because Danny Elfman scored the movie and Christoph Waltz is in it. Like that's crazy, but like obviously I don't think it's going to affect them. You know, they are who they are.
I don't think that'll affect them. Yeah, they're almost treating this like a romance when it's very much not meant to be. Actually, no case in point. I was having a conversation with one of my friends the other day about this with Wuthering Heights. I read the book in high school. This is not a romance tale. Like, I guess that's why they kind of put it in quotation marks, for putting like their tagline is like based off of one of the most famous love stories of all time. I'm like, you misread the book, bro. Like this.
Damn.
I don't think we read the same book. There are romantic parts or dark romantic parts in the book, sure. Like a twisted love tale kind of thing, sure.
Yeah.
But it's not a romance book, bro. Like this is going to put the wrong opinion in everyone's heads about this book. And then people are going to go read the book and go, huh? Partially because they can't understand ye olde English, but also secondly because of what happens in the book.
I think Sam wants to read the book and then go see it. We'll see if that, or she might just want to go see it. Who knows? I have become the book is better guy. So I understand.
Good.
I understand if that influenced, even if it's not a conscious thing that it influenced you, I get it because it happens to me all the time. And that's not every time. There's stuff where the book is like, oh, wow, that was actually a really good like adaptation of that. Like, cool. That's few and far between compared to the latter, but still it does happen. Like I've read Project Hail Mary. I love that book. I think it's incredible.
I've put that one on my Goodreads list too. Yeah.
Everything I've seen from this movie, like I was like, this looks like it's going to be a perfect adaptation. Like even you start reading the book and you're like, this is Ryan Gosling. Like you can feel like no one else could play this guy other than Ryan Gosling. Like you can just see him speaking like this, you know what I mean? So that one I have high hopes for.
So what did you think of The Summer I Turned Pretty?
I have not read or watched that.
I unfortunately have. Because my girlfriend put it on. And then I think I must have come in like halfway through season 1, and like much like the memes that people have been posting about it, where like their dads come in and watch like 2 seconds of it and they're like, oh, this is bullshit. And then 5 minutes later, they're back standing in front of the TV watching all of it. That was quite literally me. And I hate the fact that I got sucked into that.
And I think I've heard those are pretty faithful to the books.
I was about to say that's what I was getting at as well. As that I've heard that they're pretty faithful to the books as well. So I think that's why Chelsea wanted to watch it, because I think she'd read the books. But as said, like as a word of warning to Sam, if she is going to read Wuthering Heights, it's a slog, dude. Like you might need the spark notes after each chapter kind of thing to kind of get what the fuck is going on. I certainly did. But that being said, that was when I was in high school. So maybe if I reread it now, it might be a bit of a tonal shift. Oh, that was the other thing too that they fucked up. In the original thing, Wuthering, in the original book, Jacob Elordi's character Heathcliff is a black man, and part of like the whole struggle with the book, or sorry, not struggle with the book, but struggle with the character, is that the book focuses on a lot of prejudice that happened in like the late 1800s and everything in England. Because he's kind of like this Lord of the Manor thing that's come in from memory. I could be getting it wrong. That comes into wealth and gets like the manor that they go to and everything like that. And it's reflected on because he's black and how people treat him and stuff like that, despite him being this, status and everything. So the fact that they gave it to Jacob Elordi, no disrespect to Jacob Elordi, I think he's great. He fucking killed it in Frankenstein.
Yeah,
got to rep the Australian homies for sure. But
yeah,
like
that's a
dicey choice for sure.
I haven't read Hamnet, but I watched Hamnet, and I can imagine it's, if not, like the movie's fucking incredible. So I don't know if it's like faithful to the book or whatever, but like either way, something like that's been this truly like emotional Oscar darling adaptation of this book that's whatever stuff like this happens, and I'm like, how does that like I wish I was in those rooms seeing how these things
how it
put
works
into place, and like how does this happen but then also this happened. You know what I mean? Like how does that work?
It's like, guys, we've been through so many shitty comic book adaptations before. Like at what point do people, like, we've got it right, like you finally got a hit rate of like 50%, dude. Like we're starting to get people's trust back with these adaptations.
We're starting to go back.
We're starting to go back. What in your right mind thought it would be a good idea to adapt Wuthering Heights in this capacity? Now, to be fair, I've only just thought of this now. Besides the thing of them, or actually, no, this could go very badly. Let's keep Jacob Elordi for the sake of this argument, because if it was the other way around, it could reflect very badly. If they did Wuthering Heights and adapted it faithfully, which is, as said, borderline horror, and they were smart with the marketing and were like, hey, we're advertising this as a dark romance thing, and then you get to the actual film and it is a faithful adaptation, which is,
awesome.
That would be sick. That would be sick.
Awesome.
That would be like, okay, dude, you got me. That's fucking cool. Of course, you probably couldn't do that with a person of color as like the main character then, because it would not go down well.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that would not be a good look. Almost as good of a look as whitewashing a black character. That's
the optics on that one would be bad, because it's like okay, we made him white because, you know, stereotypically most of the time white guys are the perpetrators of this kind of thing, so that makes sense. We'll give you a pass on that one.
Yes, for sure.
But even like, to be fair, like none of the Wuthering Heights adaptations have gotten it right. They did a mini series of it back in 2009, I think, and that had Tom Hardy and Charlotte Riley, who are now married actually. That's how they met. They met on the set of Wuthering Heights.
Huh.
Yeah. And like we watched some of that, and even then, like that one's a lot closer to the original adaptation, but still, like there's still things wrong with it. And I think it's probably like the reason why they haven't been able to get it right is because of what the actual content of the film is. Nobody has the actual balls to do it properly, because if you did it properly, like it'd be a bit of a piece for sure.
That's fair. Maybe now this is how I don't think they're gonna try again.
I don't think this is gonna be the one. This ain't it, Chief.
Yeah, I don't. It's hard when something fails like that. It takes a minute for them to try and do it again, unless it's something massive, you know, like a massive piece of IP or something like that. Mikey, I could talk to you for hours.
I know,
but I don't think people want to listen to us for hours. Maybe they do. If they do, then cool. But
we both have cool, soothing voices.
But dude, thank you so much for coming back on and doing this. I hope we get to do it again. I hope we finally get to meet in person. I was a bad friend and didn't drive 3 hours to Buffalo to see you last time.
I don't blame you for not driving 3 hours. That's so fine. I only had to fly like 15.
Yeah. Small trip.
Just a small trip.
But I'm sure you guys are going to be in the US again soon.
Yeah, we aim, probably not this year. We'll probably aim for next year.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, we're taking like a little bit of a break. A, to do content stuff. B, give our bodies a break, because we've pretty much been going hard at it since like 2023. And we're all like, we had a meeting at the start of this year, and we've got this run with King 810 plugs. And we were just kind of like, we need to take some time off, especially me. Like I've been doing everything for this album. And I literally called into work for tomorrow and I put in my annual leave for tomorrow, so that like I have time to finish up everything, because I'm like under the pump now. So yeah, we need a little bit of a break just to reset ourselves and everything. But yeah, so probably 2027 is when we'll get back to the States. The album drops.
Yes.
There's no point in me saying pre-order the album.
Buy the album.
Buy the album. Please, I want a chart somewhere, even if it's 69th place. I don't care if it's in the top 10. I just want 69, because I think that'd be funny. And yeah, we've got this run coming up that starts, if it's like the first that this comes out, it starts on Wednesday with Dreg and a whole heap of cool opening bands, some of my favorites. And then, yeah, we're going to take a little bit of a break, but our content will be up as per always. So
that's awesome. Yeah, if you haven't listened to the new record, listen to the new record, support the hell out of this band so they can come to the States, and then I can finally hang out with Mikey in person, because I want that.
That's the only reason. That's the only reason.
Yeah, it's for me. I'm being selfish here. Okay, I'm being selfish. That's what I want to happen. Okay, deal with it.
Hey, everybody buy merch so I can hang out with Sean. There we go.
Yes.
I'm being selfish as well.
Yes, and then I'll link everything down below so you can go do that. If you want to support the podcast, just at metalcorenerds.com. And if you want to follow me on personal accounts, just at SeanXMod, Instagram and Twitter. Until next time, see you later, nerds.